In Germany, a quick bread run means you grab a fresh roll and you're home before the coffee gets cold. In the state of Georgia, the bread aisle looks like a library of sliced loaves, and the milk jug is so huge you could use it for weight training. So, what actually costs more? Groceries in the state of Georgia or in Germany? Today, we're putting a standard grocery basket head to head. Hey, I'm Misha. Welcome back to the channel. I was born and raised in a small town called Weilerbach near Ramstein Air Force Base in Kaiserslautern in Germany, and I have been living in the United States for the last 10 years. Instead of showing you my personal shopping bags, we're using an official basket of basics. Bread, milk, eggs, cheese, bananas, apples, chicken breast, ground beef, orange juice, chips, and one household item. We'll check the US averages from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, compare them to German prices from Rewe, Lidl, and Edeka, and factor in all the sneaky differences like package size, tax, and deposits. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where each country wins and which items might shock you. Here's the standard haul in Georgia. We're going for 1 love of white sandwich bread, 1 gallon of milk. By the way, that's almost 4 liters of milk. We're going for a dozen eggs, a block of cheddar cheese, bananas, apples, chicken breast, ground beef, a big bag of potato chips, a jug of orange juice, we can't forget the vitamin C, plus 1 household staple like laundry detergent. According to the US Bureau of Labor Statistics, milk is around $3.92 a gallon. Eggs are around $4.86 a dozen. White bread is around $2.16 a pound. Ground beef, we're looking at $5.89 a pound. Chicken breast, $4.73 a pound. And of course, prices swing widely. Eggs alone have doubled and dropped in the last 2 years. But these are official averages across US cities. 2 quick quirks about Georgia. Groceries are mostly tax-free at the state level, but some local sales tax still sneak in. Package sizes are massive in the US, and everyone knows that. Americans buy milk by the gallon, not the liter as we Germans do. So you're always buying more than you expect. To keep it fair, I converted German euro prices into dollars using the daily European Central Bank rate. I pull real prices from Rewe, Lidl, and Edeka's current ads. And remember, German shelf prices always include VAT. What you see is what you pay for. So if the US sticker looks cheaper, don't celebrate yet. Wait until we do the per unit math. Bread. Germany is bread heaven, and there's no doubt about it. Over 3,000 varieties, from Brötchen to dark gray bread. A simple loaf can be $1 to $2, while bakery fresh artisan bread costs more. Compared per kilo, well, Germany often wins. Looking at milk, we're looking at about €1 per liter of milk. So compared to the US gallon, we would be around €3.80 to €4 per gallon equivalent. Pretty much on par with the US right now. Eggs sold in 10 packs, usually between €2.50 to €4, depending on organic, free range, or what else there are when it comes to eggs. That makes them cheaper per egg than many recent US averages. Looking at cheese in Germany, labels say more often what actually the cheese is, Gouda or Emmentaler, even though you have that in the US as well. But you'll find pasteurized, processed cheese food on some labels. And then if you compare it, one sounds tasty, the other sounds like a science project. When it comes to fruits, bananas are cheap in both countries, sometimes under €1 per kilogram in Germany, sometimes under 60 cents a pound in the US. Apples too swing with the season. Looking at meats or poultry, whatever you want to call it, chicken and beef are often pricier per kilo in Germany, though US prices fluctuate a lot more by region. Here's where it gets interesting. Package sizes. Germany equals smaller, fresher, more frequent trips, while the US means bulk, big fridges, and fewer trips. Looking at taxes, Germany's VAT is baked into the shelf price. In the US, you find out what the product actually costs at the register because the shelf price is not the actual end price. And then we got deposits. In Germany, bottles and cans have a 25 euro cents fund deposit. Your receipt looks higher, but you get the 25 cent back if you bring the bottles back. Looking at the differences in labels, there are some. Germany says what the product actually is, while America sometimes says what the FDA allows it to be called. And comparing the shopping rhythms, they are quite a bit different too. In Germany, some people go shopping daily or every other day. In the US, you more likely have weekly stock ups and a trunk full of groceries. And then we go the other week again. So who wins this battle? Well, that depends on the product. The US wins on bananas, bulk meat, packs, and giant family size basics. Germany definitely wins when it comes to bread, dairy, staples, and eggs, especially once you do the per unit math. Then we got wild card, even though I just mentioned Germany wins when it comes to eggs, but eggs in the US have been a roller coaster. Thanks to avian flu, 1 week cheap, next week you need a second mortgage to buy them. So they could be on both sides, but because of what just happened in the US with the eggs, we'll just give it to Germany. And here's a quick FHQ for you. Why does US milk come in jugs the size of bowling balls? Well, the answer is culture and cold storage. Americans shop less often, so big formats make a lot of sense. A question that I get a lot of times is, why do you think German bread is actually better? Well, short answer is the shorter shelf life. Sounds weird, but it means German bread has fresher ingredients, doesn't put additives in there to prolong the life of the bread, and there is way more variety. In total, it tastes just better. American bread is built for shelf stability, not romance. So American bread holds way longer and lasts way longer, but think about what is in that bread to make it actually last that long. Why does the German receipt look cleaner? Well, because the VAT is already included. There's no surprise at checkout like you have in the US, where there is a shelf sticker and then all of a sudden it is completely different when you check out. So here's the big picture. US grocery shopping is about bulk and convenience. Germany's is about freshness and clarity. Per unit, some US items undercut Germany by a long way. Steaks, ground beef, chicken, all the meats and stuff. But many German staples like bread and dairy still look cheaper once you do the actual math. Now I want to hear from you. What do bread, milk, and eggs cost in your town where you live? Doesn't matter if it's in Germany, in the US, or in any other country in the world. I would love to know and do a comparison, so drop it in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe, like, share it with your friends, and comment. Don't forget to watch the other videos over here about deep dives into German versus American culture. I'm Misha. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Tschüss.